one team. One dream. One fan.
30, 20, 10, touchdown Miami! 1, 2, 3, go!
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Monday, March the 23rd. I'm your host, Michael Leva, joined by our old friend of the podcast, Alain Poupart, from the Miami Dolphins on SI, the All Dolphins podcast, the Dolphins Collective podcast. Alain, you're everywhere. You're everywhere, man. Can't get enough of you. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. And I believe, let me be the first, because I know it's this week in a couple days, to wish you a happy early birthday. Happy birthday, Alain.
Oh, thank you. How about happy wedding anniversary?
Yes.
I have that as well. And yesterday was my wife's birthday. So we have.
Oh, wow. All around the same time. How about that?
Yep.
Today we're going to talk about this Miami Dolphins offseason, one of change, obviously. And I think for a lot of people, I know myself, a lot of change that was needed. And I guess my first question to you is the hiring of John Eric Sullivan, Jeff Hafley. Look, it's so early. We don't know. They haven't done really anything yet except move on from some large contracts. So it's tough to judge them. But I guess my thought was, or my question is, did you like the hiring of these two? Do you think, was there someone else you had in mind? Like maybe I would have went in that direction. What was your thought when you heard they're going to hire these two guys from the Packers, and these are going to be the guys to sort of lead the franchise here the next handful of years at least?
My initial reaction was let's give him the benefit of the doubt. If I'm going to be honest with you, maybe I had better feelings about John Eric Sullivan, given his background with the Packers for so many years, his father, a longtime NFL coach, who actually, fun story, should have been the Dolphins offensive coordinator in 2004 when Joel Collier resigned, but that's a totally different story. So you like the fact that he came from a great organization, so he learned from really good people, and Green Bay is one of the model franchises around the NFL. So that for me was like, yeah, I kind of like this. I can see that. Jeff Hafley, to be very honest, was like kind of felt like it's Sullivan bringing his buddy. I don't think the resume, the credentials are quite the same as they are for John Eric Sullivan, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, John Eric Sullivan thinks very highly of him. I would imagine we could throw Troy Aikman in that mix as well, because Troy Aikman was part of the decision-making group. He obviously thinks very highly of him. So again, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And in you making the point that it's difficult to judge what they've done so far, it's impossible for Hafley because, first of all, they haven't had an off-season program. Oregon, correct. Sullivan has made a lot of moves so far, and I'm having a hard time finding ones that I don't like. There's one and a half, I would say. One is upon seeing Cater Cole's contract with the Chiefs, where his cap number is 1.8. Dolphins couldn't really get to that point with him. I mean,
true. That's not much, yeah.
I'm sorry. And then getting only a 7th round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick with the caveat of dude wanted a new contract, and clearly there weren't many teams around the NFL who were like, come to us, Minkah, we'll give you a new contract. And I understand that the Dolphins wanted to do this to clear some cap room because they wound up saying, $6 million? They could have made it. Yeah, if they wanted to keep Minkah, they could have made it work. It was basically one of those of like, we're not giving you a new contract, which I fully understand. Sad that it could only get a 7 for him.
I think the Minkah one too, correct me if I'm wrong, that was made the day or like one day before they signed Willis. And I think they wanted that on the cap to get under the cap to sign Willis right when they could. So I think that was around that time frame with him. But I do agree. The Cater Kohu one's more interesting because you see the contracts of everyone they've signed. It's all 1 year, 1.1 million, 1 year, 1.2 million, 1 year, 1.4 million. So for 1.8, you figure, really, you couldn't have kept him. But again, I get it. They have no ties to him. They weren't the ones who brought him here. He's coming off an ACL. I get it from probably their perspective. But again, they got nothing at cornerback right now. I know they signed a couple guys, but they really got nothing. And that might have been one, like, you know what, 1 year, 1.8, we can make this work.
Yeah, and generally speaking, guys like to stay where they are if the money's the same. But I was told they didn't even reach out to him to try to keep him. It was basically
Well, yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of guys like that they just, it's pretty much open the window, let out the stink. And anyone who's been here outside of a handful of guys, we don't want you here anymore. Not that it's all your fault per se. We just want our own people. And we're going to, turn over guys like way at the bottom of the roster and just sign guys for like those 1 years, 1.4, 1 point. Like, we're just going to try new people. And you know what? I can't really blame them because what have we won? But someone like that, he might have been the exception to that rule. Now, you mentioned Troy Aikman, and, it came out, like a week ago. He's going to continue to have a working relationship with the Dolphins. Personally, I love it, only because I don't even know what his role is, but just having someone who's a quote-unquote outside voice, possibly in the ear of the owner, who I don't really trust this owner in that I think the last person who has his ear probably he listens to, or if someone he trusts blindly, I don't know, Chris Greer has his ear, he'll never move off that person. Maybe having Troy, who's not going to be in the building every day probably, who's just going to maybe, I don't know, popping in a few Zoom calls a year, so tell the owner, hey, this ain't working, you got to do something. Like, I don't know. My opinion is it can't hurt anything. What are your thoughts about Troy's involvement?
Yeah, you're right. It can't hurt anything. But at some point, the question needs to be asked is what Dan Marino's there for? I don't know. I'm trying
How
to be.
How engaged do you think Dan is? Let's be honest. How engaged do you think Dan is on a day-to-day operation? Does he know what's going on in Seattle? Does he know what's going on in, Minnesota? I think Troy kind of does. I don't know if Dan. That's just from an outsider's look. That's my perception.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I'll go back to your point. It doesn't hurt. At some point, though, there's such a thing as having too many chefs in the kitchen, So as long as the decision-making powers are very clearly delineated, then I'm fine with it. It's another voice, again, who does have his ear, around the NFL from his work at ESPN. So I don't think it can hurt.
And I think the other thing, too, is if we get to like year 3 or 4 of these guys and they're still not winning, I will bet you Troy's going to wash his hands of this mess so fast and be like, I don't know, I was just there. I helped him hire them. I don't know. Anything after that wasn't me. And Troy's going to be off drinking his little beer, his 8, it's called 8 beer company, whatever. And he'll just wash his hands of this whole thing. So Troy's got it's good to be Troy Aikman.
It's a no-lose proposition.
It's a no-lose situation for Troy. It's just easy money. And the league can't step in, really, because what they're letting Tom Brady do, what they can tell Troy, no, you can't. I mean, come on. He's got it made right now. Also, real quick, smash that like button, everyone, if you're watching on YouTube. I forgot to mention that. You got to tell the YouTube people, smash the like button there, Alan. As you know, I know you know. Malik Willis signing. First off, happy Tua is gone, yes. And I like the Willis signing. I know some fans
hold on. Before I get attacked, this was strictly as you were talking about Malik Willis. This was not in relationship to what you said about Tua. I want that clear. Okay.
Oh no, that was all about Willis. Yes, I said the part about Tua. Bring the hate to me if there's still people out there who still defend him. I don't know if you're coming out from under your rock. Go for it. Happy he's gone, Tua. I think a lot of fans are. I don't care about the dead money either. Willis signing, to me, for what they paid for him, essentially the Justin Fields deal from last year. It's essentially a 2-year deal. To me, it's almost no risk. And let him be the guy this year. And if he plays great, you got him the year after cheap. If he doesn't, look, unless he turns into a superstar this year, they're taking a quarterback in round 1 next year anyways. And then you got your quarterback competition. And then the year after, you probably got your 2027 guy. So to me, I don't know where the downside is, but I know some fans don't love that they paid this guy. And now and he's got no help around him now. It's like, am I missing something? Or it sounds like we're on the same page. The Willis signing is just a home run.
No, I love the Willis signing. And by the way, so far I'm on the record, not because I don't want to be accused of now being a wuss. Yes, I thought Tua should go. That it was time for a clean break. I just didn't want to people. No, I know because I threw hearts at it. Okay. I advocated he needed to be gone. He's gone now. That chapter is closed. And you're right. It's 2 years, $45 million, basically the contract. That's nothing for a starting quarterback. And by the way, there is no competition on quarterback. Sorry. No. And I wrote about this today on Miami Dolphins on SI.com. Check it out. Content is all free. That maybe an underrated factor in all of this, beyond the fact that he showed great potential and it starts with the Packers, is Hafley and Sullivan know this guy very, very well in terms of his character and all that. Who better to bring in to help establish, and I hate that term, but I'm going to use it anyway,
No, you're
the
right.
culture that they want to bring in. This is a guy who can lead the way. They know what kind of guy he is. And obviously, and I made this point on Twitter one time, I was like, it blew my mind that those thank you videos that teams do when they lose a player, players in free agency,
Yeah, drives me nuts.
those usually are reserved for guys who have made an impact on that team. The dude was there for 2 years with 3 starts. Thank you, Malik, for everything you did. The Packers did that. I was like, whoa, that's some kind of respect. Shows you it's a high-class quality guy who is really serious about his business. He's going to help Sullivan and Hafley establish the foundation they want to establish. And if he turns out to be a stud quarterback, by the way, I don't agree with you. If he turns out to be a stud quarterback in 2026, regardless of results, because the results are not going to be good,
Yeah.
I don't know that the Dolphins necessarily go for a quarterback and run one in 2027. They may just say, we have our guy.
Yeah, I mean, he'd really have to show, though, because I think, as you said, the results this year, which that's one other thing I laugh at. Fans like, I can't believe we signed him. Now we're going to win too many games, and we're not going to get a top pick next year. Have you looked at Miami's roster? Look at their defensive depth chart. Outside of 2 guys, and they're trying to trade one, it sounds like, and Brooks and Zach Sealer, we got nothing. And one draft class ain't going to fix that overnight. On offense, we're going to talk about who they just traded. So I have no fear. Willis, 2 things can be true at the same time. Willis can play outstanding, and the Dolphins are still going to win 4 games or 5 games, whatever. I don't fear they're going to win too many games because they signed Malik Willis, because especially the defense, it got nothing.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly what kind of scheme master Jeff Hafley is, because he can make things work with the talent on that roster. It's like you said, it's bad. And it's interesting and sad at the same time that you talked about they have 2 guys, Zach Sealer and Jordan Brooks. Well, one of them, Zach Sealer, was not good for most of the year last year until he came on late. And you never mentioned first-round pick from 2 years ago or the first-round pick from last year.
He wasn't good last year. Yeah.
I know, but that's a little alarming.
Yeah. It's very alarming, and that's why the last general manager ain't here anymore. Grant last year, I was fine with the pick at the time, but he didn't play well, and sometimes it's just on the player. Fans always like to point out, why did we draft him? We should have drafted. Sometimes it's on the player, because when he came out of Michigan, if all the reports were high character guy, plays hard, ton of effort, this, that, and the other. I didn't see any of that. I mean, I'm not talking about the high character stuff, but on the field, I didn't see him make any really splash plays. Chop Robinson, I know he was hurt last year at times, but you know what? He's on the field a lot too. And I didn't see many plays from him either. So, yeah, their 2 best players are Zach Sealer, who's going to be 31. I think September 7th I saw, because I was looking this up today for him. And Jordan Brooks, we all know the rumors they might be trading him. For Sealer, the way his contract is, if he's on this team in November, I'd be stunned. I'm going to trade him at the deadline probably. This guy's got rid of every other. His contract next year jumps to like a $23 million cap hit. He ain't going to keep this guy around for next year. He'll trade him in November.
No, but he doesn't have any guaranteed salary.
No guaranteed, but I think this guy likes picks. And I think when they're like 1 in 9, what am I going on to Zach Sealer for? That's also part of this.
It also depends what kind of year he's having, because
he's
not having a good year, you're not pitching a whole lot for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Jordan Brooks, let's just go right there. You think they're going to trade him?
I don't know. There are 2 things. Somebody made a good point, and there are 2 things at play here. Is that number one, but for those not aware, the story is coming out of Dallas that they really want a veteran linebacker to call the shots on defense. They had targeted Patrick Queen, Al-Shair from the Texans, and they've also got their eyes on Jordan Brooks, who's from Texas originally. The thing is, for the Dolphins, the cap savings are a lot better if he's traded after June 1st. However, if you're really going to hang on to him until June and then trade him for 2027 draft picks, that's a little weird. So
I mean, they got so many this year in the top 100. You can make the case they could, but I don't know if you'd want to. That's the thing.
Well, the question with him, though, his contract expires after this year.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. Do Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan want him for when the rebuild really gets going and the turnaround occurs, and will he still be a factor then? That's going to be the question. Chances are Jordan Brooks wants a new contract because he's in his contract years, coming off an All-Pro season. Is he going to want more when the Dolphins want to invest in an inside linebacker when they're rebuilding? That's another factor at play. So I would say 50-50.
I'm kind of with you there because, I think he's going to be 29 this year, or he's 29 right now. I can't remember.
Sometime in the fall.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was October, I think, because I did look at that one too. So you have to think 2028 is probably the year where they might be competitive, most likely. So he'll be what, 31 then? Yeah, I mean, that's that milestone year of 30 years old. People like to go a little bit before, not after. So I could see it going either way. And I think what we learned from Sullivan with the Waddle deal, he ain't going to hand anyone away. If the value is good, though, I think he traded his mother to it just for a top 100 pick. Waddle trade. I thought he got back great.
Linebacker, though? Sorry.
What's that?
Did she play linebacker?
I don't know.
Sullivan's
I got check her 40 time. Check her 40 time. The Waddle trade. I thought he got back really good value. And I think, his contract, again, was about to jump up starting next year as well.
Yep.
I'm assuming you like the trade, right? Yeah,
I do. And part of it is I like Jalen Waddle. I think he's a good wide receiver. I don't think he's an elite wide receiver. And to get a 1 and a 3 and get rid of his contract, you got to do it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you there. Let's talk about the other guy who's there's been not as many rumblings about, but Achane, the best player on the team by far. Sensational last year, like 1,800 yards, all-purpose yards, and he missed like the final game of the year too, or 2 games of the year. This one's a little trickier. I think they probably want to keep him, but again, if the offer comes, that's just too good to say no to. He's probably goodbye. And I don't care what Adam Schefter tweets out. I don't care what John Aaron Sullivan at the combine said. Not looking to trade him. Pause. But I'm going to sit here and I'm listening to calls. That's code for I'm open for business at the end of the day. Yeah. Otherwise, you just say not trading him and a discussion. He didn't say that. You think he's still here? And will they play hardball with him? Like, we're not going to give you an extension now. You want to hold out in camp and all that stuff? Great, go for it. But we got the franchise tag to use on you. So I think that might be in play here for him.
That's a tricky one. And this is also where if you're trying to establish a culture, having a guy hold in does not help you establish a culture. And it's not going to, he's not going to surprise anybody if that's what he does. Through the advice of his agent, he's going to tell them they got to take care of you. They're not taking care of you. Look out for yourself. You don't practice until they give you a new contract. And chances are he's going to demand a lot of money. James Cook got what, $14 million a year on average last year?
It was 4 for 48, 30 guaranteed, I want to say.
Okay. I'm going to guess.
You don't want that, just a slight bit more probably.
Of course. You know why? Because the market is the market.
The market's the market. I learned that from Tua. I learned a lot of things from Tua. Hold on. I think I got one more thing I learned from Tua. Here we go. I learned this one too.
I tell you what, show me that money.
That's it. Show me the money. I know it's there. Still don't mean you got to do it.
You know, the deal is this was actually one of the very, very rare training camp practices that I missed. I was wrapping up a trip in Iceland at the time. And I am so glad I wasn't there when that happened because I would have lost my mind.
Me too. This is why you and me do think a lot, like, especially when it came to him. But we think a lot like, I know the younger generation. Oh, he's just having fun. It's not that serious. Get over it, guys. I'm like, you don't have any idea how bad of a look that is. When, first off, in this economy, in this world today where people are really hurting, you're going out there bragging. You just signed for millions and millions of dollars. I think that's just really bad. But it's like, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I know I'm the old man yelling at the cloud these days. I'm getting up there. But it just, yeah, you're a little ahead of me. Okay. But it just rubbed me the wrong way. And it's like, I don't know why fans thought that was cute and funny. And, fast forward, it wasn't.
But here's the part for me that beyond the bad look related to the fans, football is the ultimate team game. Nothing you do can be accomplished or very little you do can be accomplished without the help of the other 10 guys on offense with you. And if you're on defense, the other 10 guys on defense. And you're singling yourself out. You're getting the big money because you happen to be the quarterback. And it's like, look how I got paid. Yes. And it's like, and I'll give you an example. Javon Holland at that time was looking for a new contract, which the Dolphins told him basically, talk to the hand. Can you imagine what's going through Javon Holland's mind as he's watching Tua go, show me the money?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say it wasn't tiptoe through the tulips that was going through Javon Holland at the time. It was like, it's a completely selfish move regarding the ultimate team game. And yes, I'm an old grumpy guy, which is why I love Vic Fangio.
Me too.
But
even though Paisan, I loved him. Come on, I want the Italians down there. This is great. Yeah, we screwed that up too.
I don't remember what our original point was. Oh, the Zavon H.N. was going to
yeah.
The contract situation muddies everything because if it wasn't for that, chances are Sullivan legitimately would have said he's not going anywhere. Just like he doesn't have to say for Patrick Paul, who's 2 years into his rookie contract, who's not going anywhere because, again, it's 2 years before he actually, chances are he's going to be looking for a new contract next offseason. But with H.N., that time is now. That complicates matters. To me, it would take a big offer for the Dolphins to trade him, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No, and I think if that one, I think with Jordan Brooks, I could see that one just happening at like any time. That's probably going to shock us when it happens, if it happens. I think for HN, if it happens, that's going to be like draft week. If something happens, I could see that team gets close to the draft. They're like, you know what? In round one, so some team at the top, maybe like the Giants, we're not going to get Love. He's going to go before us, and we ain't trading up. So I could see that, like somebody like them or a team who wants one in round two, they don't get who they want. And it might be for picks in 2027, and that's actually okay. Like I said, we have so many picks this year, and next year's draft is, from all the reports, it's supposed to be so good. I'd be okay with that, but I could see that one sort of maybe playing out as we get closer to the draft. Teams like, we didn't get what we needed. Let's pay up now.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah. Talking to Tua, one last thing, since and I didn't even plan on talking about it, but since I played the clip, have you ever seen, and I'm sure there's somebody, I just can't think of them, a superstar athlete give worse press conferences in his life than he did like the past year and a half? I mean, he said some goofy stuff at those press conferences.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, it went downhill in terms of his overall work off the field, because you mentioned a lot of goofy stuff. It's easy when you're sitting on your couch
having chips when he got back on snap for Arizona. Yeah, that was the start of it, really, and it went downhill real fast.
Yeah, no, like headline worthy comments like that. I mean, Tyreek did that kind of like on a regular basis.
But people kind of know he's just being like.
No, correct. Jay Cutler was different in terms of like his indifference, kind of like I don't care. But no, I mean they were isolated incidents. I still remember like when Hard Knocks was there, Chad Johnson had like an absolutely wild press conference during training camp before he got cut. Was like, holy moly! And there have been like sporadic instances like that, but like on a regular basis, the foot and mouth disease, the Tua was up there.
Yeah, I mean and again, how I sort of said it is a guy who had 99% fan support from the moment his name was read at the draft. The fans loved him. Like they put him on a pedestal for reasons I'll never understand, honestly, but they worshipped him, and how that fan support eroded over the course of 5 or 6 years, whatever it was, 6 years, I guess, was kind of fascinating. By the time he was cut, there was very few fans who were like, okay, it's fine. We're okay with it. It's like part of it to play on the field. I get that. But I think part of it was everyone was just sort of tired of the whole Tua experience as well.
Yeah, and I think there's also a feeling of it's not getting any better. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get any better. I mean, the ceiling was 2023, and it wasn't good enough. And I keep hearing former Dolphin players.
Oh, please. I know.
About it wasn't for the injuries. We had a Super Bowl team. No, you didn't.
They couldn't beat anyone good when they were healthy.
Correct. That's the point. And I think if they were going to go anywhere that season, it was going to be because of the defense. It was not going to be because of the offense, which always had the same limitations in that it was not an offense designed to produce against really good teams late in the season or in the playoffs.
Yeah. We got 7 draft picks now in the top 94. That's a lot.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask you who they're going to draft because look, everyone's got a thought and an opinion on mock drafts are everywhere, which they're fun to look at. I think they're always fun, but like whatever, none of us know what the hell they're going to do. But they have needs outside of running back. They got needs at every position. Let's just be honest. In your mind, what are the top 2 most important needs this team has right now? Not that they're going to take them in round 1 or 2, but just glaring needs on this roster. It's probably the same 2 I'm thinking, but I want to hear your opinion.
You're gonna narrow me down to 2.
Well, yeah, that's why. In my opinion, here, I'll tell you mine. Cornerback, edge rusher. To me, they got nothing at either one really. And I'll throw in the whole secondary because you might as well throw in the safeties too. Corner, secondary, edge rusher. Those 2, to me, they really. I mean, wide receiver, it's thin. Don't get me wrong. They got some guys who at least I know their names. On the offensive line, 4 starters are coming back. Whatever you want to say about some of them, you got 4 starters coming back. At edge, Chop was not good last year. They got nothing else besides him. And I don't care about the guy that's saying for Philly because he was whatever. And they got nothing at corner. To me, those are the biggest 2 needs.
Well, okay. So to me, there are 5, and it's guard, cornerback, safety, wide receiver, edge defender. And if you're going to narrow me down to 2, I would go edge and safety, not cornerback. And my reason is at cornerback, if Storm Duck comes back, Storm Duck was good last year in training camp before he went down. Not that he's an established, proven guy, but there are so many bodies. They have 12 cornerbacks on the roster right now that maybe possibly a couple of guys emerge. Go ahead and name me the safeties right now on this roster.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's Trader. That's about
Lonnie
it.
Johnson Jr.
Lonnie Johnson Jr.
Shane Anderson, who's a special teamer.
Yeah, it's nothing.
If he's gone, Ashton Davis is gone. Minka Fitzpatrick is gone.
Fede Malafanu is gone. Yeah, they're all gone. Let's hope Caleb Downs falls to 11. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be a coup if he fell to 11. Caleb Downs. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what to do at 11, but I think
you can't draft for need. Here's my wishes. I'm very big.
Yeah.
Don't draft for need. Please do not take a wide receiver at number 1.
I'm with you on that one. I've been saying that. And Tom, I love Tom from our website. You know Tom. You've met Tom. He wants all these pass catchers around. Tom, have you learned anything from the Chris Guerrero? No pass catchers. I want a corner. I want an edge. I want a guard. I want a tackle. Anyone. Not a wide receiver, not a tight end. We got all these picks coming on Friday. Go nuts with those. Pick a couple pass catchers. Pick 11. Maybe pick 30. You could talk me into it if the right guy fell. Not 11.
Completely agree. There's no positional value. The difference between the guy you get 11 and the guy you get at 30 is like this. And the difference between an edge defender 11 and an edge defender 30 is much bigger.
Big.
And
that's right.
Just safeties generally also. I do not like safeties at 11, except
for Downs.
Correct. Just like except for Kyle Hamilton, except for if the Seahawks had wound up taking Nick Emenwari last year at 11, I don't know if anybody would have had a problem with the way he played. That guy was a dude.
He was sensational. Yeah. I'm with you.
I don't like guards at 11 either. Pure guards at 11. I don't like that. And I always bring up the examples of 2 great guards. One was further down 11, but 2 sensational guards who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Zach Martin, Quentin Nelson. Tell me how far their teams advance in the playoffs.
Well, I know Quentin Nelson with the Colts hasn't gotten very far at all. Zach Martin Cowboys know they struggled as well. I do agree. Although the kid from Penn State this year, Vega Ione, he looks. I know he's a guard, and I know, but I'm just saying. How about if we could trade down from 11 to like 16 or 17 and then take them? Would you be open to that if we got more picks?
Sure, if we get more picks.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But because I think he can be special. Let's end with 2 fun questions here. You mentioned that a few years ago you had a trip to Iceland. I know last year you went to Japan. What's the big vacation this year? Where are you going if you're going anywhere? Because I know you like to travel. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Taking
Exactly.
a year off. You know what? After seeing the lines at TSA, I don't blame you.
No, we just got involved in a major project of moving,
Okay.
so that's
Okay. All right.
That-
That's totally understandable.
yeah.
Yeah.
That took care of that for this
All right.
year.
Last question. What are you watching on TV? Because you sometimes like to talk about shows off camera, like away from the people. What are you watching on TV these days? Anything good? Anything fun?
I've been so insanely busy with the move that
You haven't watched anything?
There's no last thing I watch. It's going to be embarrassing, but guilty pleasure. This is where I take my brain and my wife takes her brain, we put it to the side and just enjoy it like this. Was Love Is Blind. So,
Really? I've never gotten into that one, although people do say it is kind of fun. Yeah.
it's kind of fun. It's a guilty pleasure. It's
Exactly. Oh, I got a few shows like that. And I am not afraid to say it. If you saw what's saved on my DVR, you'd think I was a 31-year-old female. I am into some of those shows like you wouldn't believe. I am not.
Name them.
Oh, I watch Big Brother, Basketball Wives. I watch some of the, not like the Real Housewives one. I've never gotten into that, but I do watch Basketball Wives because I caught this is probably 6-7 years ago, like a show where these two girls, I thought they were going to commit murder against each other, and this ain't acting. This ain't acting. They were so, and so I was just hooked on that one. What else? I watch. I watch The Traitors. Love The Traitors. The best show. Awesome. So there's a bunch of shows like that where you mindless, fun, don't have to think much, have some laughs, and just those shows are the best. We did get a couple.
I will tell you this. I'll tell you this, Mike. Before that, the last show that was spending a lot of time watching. I don't want to get into The Pit again. The second season that show's great. I rewatched the entire series of Better Call Saul, and it's
Better Call Saul.
Please tell me.
I've seen it. He's great. I love that whole thing. It's so good. I like it better than Breaking Bad. I thought it was so good.
I like it better than Breaking Bad too. I think it's absolutely sensational.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple super chats here. Let me run through these. First off, just from our friend Carlos, $5. Thank you, Carlos. New Jersey Fins 3153. Thoughts on what we do at 11? I think we just sort of went over that a little bit, but thank you, New Jersey Fins. Not a wide receiver. That's first and foremost. Anything after that, we're probably okay for the most part, but not a wide receiver. Not in love with the guard, although if the offensive tackle from Miami falls and they want to play him 1 year at guard and then move him to right tackle and move on from Austin Jackson, I am A-okay with that. That's the one thing I'm a little disappointed on. We haven't moved on from Austin Jackson yet, but it is what it is. In time. Next one from our friend Phil. Great to see Alain on the channel. Cheers. Thank you, Phil. And our last one here from Idleman. Sully opinion on running back Wright and Gordon. They met with, they're going to meet with a ton of guys. Don't read into that. So you met with the kid at Wake Forest. They're going to meet with so many guys, and I'm not too familiar off the top of my head with Claiborne. If he's a guy like around 6, round 7 guy, or someone who might not get drafted, might be yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So yeah.
No, we don't know the Sullivan opinion on those guys. I think there's something there, but the fact that they met with a running back, again, they're going to meet with a lot of players, a lot of different positions. It doesn't mean anything, or it can mean everything.
Exactly. Because I know last year they took out Quinn Ewers for a steak dinner. Oh, taking out Quinn Ewers for a steak dinner. Next thing you know, they're drafting Quinn Ewers. So you never know. Sometimes you read into it, sometimes you don't. But yeah. So
sometimes we'll interview players after they're drafted. It's like have Jimmy with the Dolphins during the pre-draft process. They're like, nope, never met with them. So
yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't mean anything, or it can mean something. So it's like this connect the dots because they meet somebody. It means they're interested or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
And sometimes you meet with someone on Wake Forest because they like someone else on Wake Forest. They want to get that kid's opinion on that guy without letting the world know we're not interested in you. We're really interested in him. We just want to get your opinion on him. So there's 3D chess going on here sometimes with these guys. They take it very seriously. Every team operates in a whole different fashion, so you can't read into it too much. Oh, here's our friend Jordan. I just got to share this. Can't get into Grey's Anatomy anymore, especially being in the medical field. Way too many errors. Jordan, don't overthink it. I'm not a Grey's fan, but sometimes you just gotta let your mind go, and you can't overthink stuff like that.
That's funny.
All right, Alain Poupart, everyone check him out on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Miami Dolphins on SI, free content, as he said. The All Dolphins podcast and the Dolphins Collective podcast with TD, Doug, and Omar. Check them out over there. Make sure you're subscribed to all the YouTube channels. Alain, as always, this is a pleasure. I'm sure we'll talk to you again down the road. And thank you for joining me tonight.
Of course, always, Mike.
All right, everyone have a great day. We'll talk to you again after a while.